to Jersey and welcoming Kristen, who's been holding on for a while. Welcome to the Karen Hunter Show. Thank you for holding.
Hi, this is my first time calling in. It's also my first time listening to the show. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I know, right?
So where you been? Where you been, Kristen?
I'm a 24, recent college grad, about 2 years old. I've been doing 20-year-old things,
Okay.
And that's usually not on the urban live, I guess. I heard about y'all because my dad listens to you.
Okay.
I'm from South Orange, New Jersey, went to Spelman. Back up here. At Spelman, I studied African-American business history. So when you said Woman to Carolina, Rosewood, Florida, that's where I did my thesis on. So very familiar with, those events and just also watching, I guess, this sentiment replay or, like you said, something that has long been here but maybe has changed and hid itself in many faces come out, in a very new and familiar face, a more bold face. And I think I've been listening since the morning, since my dad, was listening, because this was just, quite frankly, a horrible day. And, I'm trying to grasp around it. And I listened to Dr. Johnson. And I think my sentiment is different. I understand how a lot of people found his words, I guess, comforting. I found them sobering, but also still very maybe fear inciting. I guess when you think about it from a Gen Z perspective or a younger perspective, all we've known is this life, all we've known is equality. When you say or even I'm hearing you speak, while waiting, you say, we've learned how to fight, half of us, we've been through things and we fought or we've had challenges. A lot of us haven't,
Yes.
I'm 24 years old.
I say corrected when you mentioned the doing 20-year-old things. Yeah, we let and maybe it's good. I'm sure parents don't want their children to have to fight, and I'm sure a lot of people who have raised children who are in their 20s now and early 30s, you never thought you would live in an America where you had to put your children through the paces to even know what the fight would be. You wanted to shield them from that because you want them to be happy and joyful. But here we are now, Kristen. Can you? Where would you find the fortitude to now? Like, what's your game plan in the wake of this? Because I feel you.
That's my question. Yeah, I think that's why when my dad was on listening to this, I think my plan is really to dive into community and really elders, because I don't know what to do and what's going on. Like I said, I'm a history major.
Yeah, let me ask.
So
how can you take what you learned at Spelman and pour it into the community? Because I feel like we're going to need to have educators, and the educators for the next generation, because they're banning books. They're going to erase history from the school books that come out of Texas. They're going to erase history from the curriculum because they're getting rid of the Department of Education. And part of that is to tell a different narrative, which is why what Jason Johnson said about archiving so that we'll remember.
Right.
I think your memory is going to be super important. Your study, your focus on our history is going to be important for the next generation. So does that look like a Saturday school?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I only too. I'm a business owner, so I'm pivoted into business. So I have my own business. I study economic history. So maybe it's even something like starting, I don't know, a community resource or like you said, Saturday school or website. But I guess my real question is, you talked about how there are these big pieces, these remnants that, our predecessors and our ancestors left behind, to make manifestos and all these other things. How do we as a people bring it together and actually act on it? Because I feel like that's what's really missing from my perspective. And the generation today, like, we have these remnants, we have these things, but even amongst our own community, we're so divided, and that is the hill that I'm on. How do we take these manifestos and, like you said, continue rolling the wheel, take up a new party? This is what, because I'm a person that likes action, and I like when I hear something, I like to actually do something.
Okay. Well, stick around. It was your first time listening. Kristen. So welcome. We've been doing this work for 10 years, and we have had many, many action plans that we've executed, including voter registration drive. We've done apps. We've started businesses here. We have a whole community in narrative, which, I invite you to join us there. There's a lot of educators in narrative and on the Nubia platform, and narratives with a K, like knowledge. The K is silent. So there's a K, NARRATIVE.com. As a subscription model, so that we don't have any knuckle draggers in there. It's people who want to get busy and work, and there's communities around everything from engineering to business ownership. There's a whole farming community in there as well as educators. But yeah, this is part of the conversation that we have on a regular basis here. We are an action show. So when we talk, we talk with this sense. You're from South Orange. What is needed in South Orange is pretty tight. Let me just say that's where I go to. If I'm ever getting a bagel, I'm going to South Orange. If y'all have little concerts, the Soul Pack. I saw Lisa Fisher there last year. It was beautiful. But there's a deeper question, around young people in South Orange, Maplewood, South Orange. You have Columbia. My first job out of college was at the South Orange News Record, which doesn't even exist anymore, on South Orange Avenue. So actually not on South Orange, on Valley. You're asking a question that we will answer. So stay tuned. But I also feel like every day that we talk, part of the thing that I do on purpose is throw breadcrumbs out. And because I'm always inspired when I hear something to then go do something. I can't tell you how many things Dr. Gray Carr has dropped into my spirit that gave us narrative in Nubia. That was a conversation, right? That started with, can I hit record? And it turned into a community that is on fire. I'm hoping that you will see yourself, like in this space and time, because we're living in history. What is your contribution? I'm always thinking about, how will I throw myself into the future 100 years from now? What do I want people to know? What do I want young people to know? That's really the driving question that I ask myself. 100 years from now, what do I want them to know about us? What do I want them to know? And then I have to create it today. So we have a tremendous opportunity. Welcome to the family. Tell your dad I said thank you. But get ready, Kristen, because you will be called into service. I promise you.
My days are cooler, nights are warmer, and I put the blame on you. Time moves slow, but my heart beats faster. When these eyes are looking right at you, you give me something to believe in, just what I needed. You're the closest.